I'm standing in a cold room with dim light in a part of Union Station few people ever visit. With me are Beverly Swain Stanley and Tom Whitaker of the Union Station Redevelopment Corporation. We're about to descend into a perfectly cut square in the floor.
So you get your hands on it first before you move your feet over that way.
We carefully brace our hands on a ladder and climb down to reach the mezzanine level of Union Station's main hall.
We're standing up behind 6 Legionnaire statues made of plaster.
46 sculptures of Roman legionaries or soldiers line the main hall, standing tall at 8 feet, and each with a unique design. They look down from the station arches on the commuters rushing about below. Collectively, they represent the 46 states that made up the United States in 1906 when the station was built.
I think there's about 6 or 8 different types, and they just interchange the parts and pieces, and they're all symmetrical too. If you look at across the station, at one end of the station, they'll have 2 identical ones matched up as you go away from the center.
The Legionaries are among some of the station's original artifacts, dating back to its opening more than 100 years ago. After checking them out for a bit, we climb back up the ladder and head down to the main floor, to a room historically reserved for the most powerful person in Washington.
This is the presidential suite.
From 1908 to 1950, Union Station's presidential suite allowed the nation's commander-in-chief to wait for his train in a privately secure location.
Obviously, as you can see, very nicely decorated. Very special lights and lamps. You see the presidential seal here at one end of the room. Beautifully carpeted, brocaded decorations.
For several decades, the presidential suite served as a restaurant, and there's speculation it will reopen soon to the public. We exit the presidential suite to check out some elements of Union Station that aren't exactly hidden, but which many visitors miss as they rush to catch their trains.
There are 28 different ceiling structures in Union Station. When you walk from room to room, look up because you'll see almost every time a different structure. Ceilings are decorative. Whether there's a gold leaf or, some other design in the ceilings.
And while you're gazing upward, you might notice scaffolding and a large black net 90 feet above you. They are part of a 2-year construction project designed to restore Union Station to its original magnificence.
We're doing restoration that's visible as well as restoration that isn't visible to people who are in the station. One of the things that we are attempting to do now is replace all of the gold in the ceiling and to use the same high quality of gold which was used originally, and we expect the gold to last 75 to 100 years.
Union Station is the busiest stop in the metro system, as well as a bustling hub for intercity train service. So this restoration isn't an easy process.
It's a very busy place, and that's challenging because we're trying to do a restoration. At the same time, we're trying to continue to serve the many people who pass through the station each day for many purposes.
Getting the station ready for the next generation includes developing a chronology of all the different changes that have taken place over the past 108 years. Swain Stanley says she's collected more than 8,000 documents as a part of that process.
As we're doing a historic preservation plan for the station, it's very exciting. We're finding a lot of new information about the history of the station, which makes it even more fascinating than it was before.
They've also come across some interesting artifacts from the earlier eras in the station's history.
We're finding out interesting things behind the scenes. So we have found, old paint cans and other artifacts like that, jars, as we're doing the work behind the main ceiling. And so what we are doing is collecting those and putting a very small museum-like display in the East Hall.
That display is not behind closed doors, and Swain Stanley says the restoration team will be adding to it. They also plan to launch an app next month about the restoration and the artifacts they've uncovered, so that this and future generations can enjoy the full history and beauty of Union Station. I'm Lindsay Sperber.